Hi guys, it's xoxo, it's Leela, and today I wanted to talk about sororities. As I mentioned before in one of my update videos, I joined a sorority, and when I first joined, I looked for all these videos on YouTube of what is a sorority like? What do I have to do to be in a sorority? Like all these different things. And I know that I had tons and tons of questions, and those questions weren't necessarily answered through the internet, so I figured I would make a video answering as much as I could about what a sorority is really like, and what you can expect if you're going through recruitment, or if you're thinking about going through recruitment and joining a sorority, and everything like that. Start with what exactly is a sorority. A sorority is something that you join in college. The best way I can describe it is kind of like a club. You have to pay for dues, and you have to attend certain events and stuff like that. But basically, it is a group of girls who have a set of Greek letters. Either it's anywhere from 2 to 3 letters that make up their Greek name. Now, my specific sorority is Delta Gamma, and I know that there are several different sororities: Alpha Gamma Delta, Chi Omega, Alpha Chi Omega, Gamma Phi Beta, Delta Zeta, Kappa Delta. There are tons and tons of different sororities. So just because I'm a Delta Gamma and you guys are like, oh, well, I like her, doesn't mean that you would necessarily like the Delta Gammas at your college or whatever, which I'll get into that later. But sorority is basically just like a group of girls that you get really, really close with, that you call your sisters, and they help you they help you grow throughout your college career and everything like that. Yeah, it's a great experience. Can't exactly explain what it's like to that bond that you get with your sisterhood, but it is definitely a good experience. So one of the questions on here is, what will being in a sorority do for me? Which is a fantastic question, because I had that question going in too. I mean, you're spending a lot of money going through this, and you want to know what you'll get out of it. Honestly, in a year's worth of being in a sorority, I can already say that I have learned a lot. It's nothing that you can exactly learn, through going through textbooks or reading or researching or whatever. But I learned a lot more patience, a lot more respect, just things like that, like character building things. And then it also gives you a lot of good leadership skills, especially if you want to have a position, like say you want to be president of the sorority, or you want to be vice president of rituals, or vice president of attendance, or whatever. It does show responsibility and leadership, that you can definitely put that on a resume, and it looks really good for the future when you go and apply for jobs. So what is Panhellenic sorority recruitment? Basically, it is a selection process that you go through with your school, depending on how many sororities they have there and everything like that. I can tell you personally, my recruitment experience, we don't have housing. I go to Northern Kentucky University, and we don't have housing there, so it was a little bit different. And we only have 5 sororities, so there was a big difference there too. But basically, ours was 3 nights long, and each night you go to your sorority parties. So the first night you attend, I attended all 5 sorority parties, and then that night I went and voted on which sororities I liked best, numbered them 1 to 5, and then those sororities ranked me based on how they liked me, which sounds scary, but I promise you it's not. It's just kind of like a mutual connection. Like when you find a friend, it's like mutual, you guys both like each other. So they go through and they vote, which I can't explain the voting process for them, but you go and vote, and they vote, and then they put them together, and then the next day it comes out, you either go to 3 or 4 parties. 3 or 4 parties. And the next day I went to 3 sorority parties, and then I ranked, and then they ranked. And then after that, they put them all on the computer, and then the next day I went to the top 2 sororities that ranked me. And by that point, it was my decision what sorority I wanted to join. So there wasn't really too much pressure, but it's still kind of nerve-wracking. And then after you go to the 2 parties, which basically what I mean by party is you'll walk in to a room filled with all the sorority girls, and they're usually on the first night they're clapping and they're singing their sorority songs, and you get paired up with one of them and you walk around and you talk about their sorority. You just kind of talk about everyday life, just normal conversations, nothing too scary. And then the second night's kind of like that too, or sometimes the second night is more formal. They'll introduce your first and last name, and then you get paired up with someone that way, and you still talk and get to know each other. And then usually the last night is a little more serious, but you still get paired up with someone, so it's not like you're kind of walking around like, where do I go? Who do I talk to? But yeah, and then the last night of recruitment, basically you go in and you sign this piece of paper that says, if I get a bid, I will accept my bid, which I'll explain what a bid is, but, and then you rank your, who you want, 1 and 2. And I got my top ranked sorority. I ranked them number 1 all the way throughout. I'm not going to say who my other sororities were because they're all great sororities. I'm not just saying that because it's like, oh, well, I'm on YouTube and they can see these videos. They really are all great sororities at my school, and they're all very, very sweet girls. It was just I had a personal connection more with this sorority than the others. And then they put it into a computer and they say, okay, she wanted them and they wanted her, so we're going to give her a bid. And what a bid is basically a formal invitation to join that sorority. Some schools do bids, like they have really, really nice like card stock where it's like all filled out and it looks fantastic. Mine was just, a simple base card that said Delta Gamma would like to formally invite you to their chapter, do you accept? And so then you go out and the sorority, your sisters are there waiting for you, and they've got signs that say, welcome to Delta Gamma, or welcome to our sorority, and you get all excited, you run out there, and usually you get like a t-shirt, and I got a t-shirt, a bag, a balloon, and my sorority, it's just like tradition, it's kind of like a ritual to do purple lays, which there's a long story behind it, and I can't really explain it, but we do lays, and we got our lays and our t-shirts and everything, and we got this cute little bag that just has an anchor on it. It says Delta Gamma. The anchor is our national symbol, so that's why I got that bag. And yeah, it's a fun experience. Bid day is a good one. So that's what Panhellenic sorority recruitment is. How much does sorority recruitment cost, and where does the money go? Now, I can only speak for personal experience with my school. I can't talk about what other sororities cost because it's completely different, especially since we don't have housing or anything. It's definitely on the cheaper side, but recruitment is definitely an investment. I can't exactly give an exact number, but our recruitment is definitely less than like I would say around $700. A month. So, I mean, it is an investment, and you do, I mean, I got a job, just a regular, like, low-paying job all throughout college, and I was able to pay for it all by myself. So, it's affordable, at my school at least, but it's not cheap. And where does the money go? Money usually goes towards chapter dues, and this can be anything from like t-shirts and bags that you order that are already paid for. When you go, usually sororities have formals, which is kind of like their prom, or they have retreats. You know, we have 2 retreats every year, sisterhood retreat, where we go and spend an entire night somewhere with all of our sisters. It pays for like little things like that. Usually they'll give you a list of everything that you're paying for, because some things aren't exact. Some places make you pay for housing, which is really expensive. But yeah, it lays it all out. And, you know, people say, oh, well, you're paying for your friends. Not exactly. I can see where people would get that, but no, not really. And this one says, what is a rho gamma? Ours are called gamma chis. But basically, I'm just going to call it a gamma chi because that's what we call it. A gamma chi is basically your person who leads you throughout recruitment. Ours was what it is a member of a sorority will basically give up her letters or disaffiliate with her chapter for a certain amount of time, and they will help girls who are going through recruitment, help them go through recruitment and lead them to parties and help them, you know, if they have any questions or anything like that. And then at the end of recruitment, they will usually show you, like, you know, what sorority they're in. My gamma chi, when we have like a group, it was like 20 girls in a group. And my gamma chi actually ended up being one of my sisters, and I adore her. She's so, so sweet. But yeah, gamma chis or rho gammas or whatever, you know, your school calls them, is someone who leads you throughout recruitment. What is recruitment week? I basically explained that through what recruitment is. So, what is the time commitment for recruitment week? You kind of definitely have to be open. You have to have an open schedule, and usually they do it on the weekends. But I mean, if you're planning on going through recruitment and it's a week long or a weekend long, I would definitely say take off that entire week. What is preference night? We call it pref night. It's preference night. It's the same thing. It's the last night of recruitment that I told you guys about, where you attend. At my school, it was 2 parties, and it's basically the time where you go in and you are serious. You go in and you think, okay, which girls do I want to call my sisters the next day? So that is pref night. What is bid day? Bid day is when you actually receive your bid and that says, hey, we want you to be in the sorority, and you accept those girls as your sisters. Sorority reputations are definitely a hard one to beat, because there is a strong reputation, and I can't speak for all schools, because sometimes, like, schools, especially in the South, do kind of, you know, seem as if they have that reputation, but I know for a fact that my sorority doesn't. And, you know, it all depends on what you're looking for. If you are looking for girls who love to talk about hair and clothes and makeup and nails and shop for high-end brands, then that's awesome, you know, then maybe that sorority is for you, and that specific sorority stereotype, you know, is something that you're looking for, and that's great. But a lot of sororities aren't like that. Some of them are, but a lot of them are not. So yeah, if you guys have any specific questions or anything, leave a comment below asking me. I will try my hardest to get back to you. But yeah, overall, sororities are really fun. They're usually not what you think they are. I love my sorority sisters with all my heart. And, you know, if you join a sorority, hopefully you will too. It's a great decision, and sometimes it's not for everybody, which is okay. That's completely fine. But yeah, usually it's a great experience. And if you guys do join a sorority and you happen to join Delta Gamma, or you are Delta Gamma, hi sister, it's awesome to meet you. I love you. Yeah, so if you guys have any questions, just leave them in the comments below, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.